So the final one, right? We are going for the final question. So that is question number 5, that is focusing on types of analysis, right? So here we know that in the organization, there are several analysis we can do. So one thing is horizontal analysis. The other one is vertical analysis. We have trend analysis as well. So we can do this common size analysis and comparative analysis in horizontal, vertical, and trend. Then we can do the ratio analysis. We can do the cash flow analysis, right? So there are external analysis, internal analysis, several analysis methods. Now in this question paper, in the first part, they have asked to differentiate or compare the horizontal analysis and vertical, then fundamental and technical, trend analysis and comparative analysis. So let's see the differences. So here, horizontal analysis is the comparative valuation of the financial statements of 2 or more periods. So here, we are going to compare 2 different periods, right? So here we are going to identify the difference between 2 or more period, every line by line. So first we are going to calculate the sales, then we are going to identify compared to the previous period. Now what is the increment or decrement in the current period? We are going to take the cost of sale. Then we are going to calculate compared to the previous period, what is the increase or decrease in the current period. Likewise, we are going to take based on line by line, right? So it shows the growth as well as the decline of an item, right? By calculating each changes, right, we can predict the trend based on the horizontal analysis. So the items from the past financial statements are restated to percentage of the amount from the base year. So here we are going to take the previous year. Based on that, we are going to calculate the change. So we are based on the previous period. It helps for intra-firm comparison, which means we are going to compare the same company. We are not going to compare with different companies. This is used to compare the same company. So you can say here we are going to compare 2 different periods. So we are going to identify the growth and decrease of this period, right? So here we can use to calculate the trend, and we can use it for intra-firm comparison. It's easy to remember there. So now let's see the vertical analysis. So vertical analysis is a proportional evaluation of the financial statement, where in each item of the statement is expressed as a percentage of the total in the respective section. So we know that in the vertical analysis, there are 2 types of vertical analysis, right? So first one, vertical income statement. In the vertical income statement, we are going to calculate each figure based on the net sales or the sales. And in the vertical statement of financial position, we are going to identify each figure based on the total assets. So that's what mentioned by the respective section. In the income statement, sales, in the SFP, it is the net total assets. Income statement, sales figure, in the SFP, total assets, or if you want, you can take the total liabilities, total equity and liabilities as well. Both is okay, but most of the time, for the convenience, we are going to use the total assets. That is mentioned by this respective section. So here it is the proportional evaluation of the items on the financial statement, right? So this helps in forecasting and determining the relative portion of an item from the common item in the financial statement. That is why it is known as the common size analysis. This is known as the common size analysis. Why? Because it's taking a common item to analyze the figures, right? So then this is aimed to identify the proportion of an item, right, in a single accounting period, right? And each item of the financial statement is denoted as a percentage of another item. Here, I have told you that in the income statement, we are going to take as a percentage of sales. In the statement of financial position, we are going to take it as a percentage of total assets. So this one can be used to compare the firm itself as well as different firms as well. So it is facilitate the inter and intra both. Inter means different firms. Intra means within the firm. Right? So here we are going to identify the relative portions compared to a common item, right? So here we are going to identify the proportional changes in a single accounting period, and it facilitates intra and inter-firm comparisons. Highlight only the key figures, right? So here you are getting, right, 4 marks per each. 4 marks means you have to write 2 differences from horizontal and 2 differences from vertical. I have given 4 differences. Out of that, you have to remember just 2 differences. What is convenient for you, you can remember them. So next one, fundamental and technical, right? So the fundamental analysis mainly based on the past financial statement. Based on the past financial statement, we are going to predict the future stock value or the intrinsic value. Since you are doing the FM, right, in the 4th year, you may be aware of the intrinsic value. So based on the past financial statement, we are going to forecast on the intrinsic value, the fundamental analysis. In the technical analysis, we are actually taking the share prices. Based on the previous share prices, we are forecasting on the future share prices. Fundamental mainly based on the financial statement. Technical is mainly based on the share prices. So fundamental analysis of stock based on the calculation of intrinsic value, right? It is analyzed the stocks based on the prediction of its prices by use of trends and charts about its price movement. So here analysis is based on the intrinsic value calculation. Here the analysis is based on the price movements. Then here we are evaluating the intrinsic value of stocks and make the decisions regarding the investment. Here we are going to analyze the correct time to enter or exit the market, right? Based on the future prices. Here we are going to make a decision regarding the investment. Here we are going to take a decision when to enter into the market or when to exit from the market. Fundamental analysis is focusing on the long-term investment, such as acquisition of the company, right? So technical analysis is focusing on the short-term investment, such as purchasing of share for investment purpose. Then here, fundamental analysis used for investing. This one is used for trading. Here, since we are going to use the financial statements, right? We are going to use historical data and presented data. Since we are going to use only the share prices, this is based on the historical data. And financial statements and other statements are used to measure the performance in the fundamental analysis. Here we are going to use the charts and trends. You have to remember just 2, right? Even though I have given 4, you have to remember just 2. Then trend analysis as well as comparative analysis. So in the trend analysis, what we are going to use, we are going to take a base year. Based on the base year, we are going to calculate the performance. Now, in the comparative analysis, we are going to compare 2 different or more than 2 time periods at a certain time. Here we can use to identify the changes over the period of time. Trend analysis, look for trend, right? Look for trends of the business performance over the period of time. Here we are going to compare the changes from time to time, different periods, right? This is also horizontal analysis method, right? But here we are going to compare based on line by line. First, we are going to take the sales, then we are going to compare the cost of sales, like by item, we are going to calculate, right? So here, this comparative analysis, right, can be used by both horizontal and vertical methods. So we are going to compare the companies based on horizontal as well as vertical. So in the trend analysis, since we are going to compare with the base year, we can identify the probable improvement as well as deteriorations, which means a decrease of certain particular items and the financial situations, right? So this can be used to compare with the similar industry and the same firm. We can use ratio analysis for comparative analysis, right? Since this is absolute term, we can create the percentages and graphical representations only.